G'day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to take a look at how the AGL LR Prime Battle Super Saiyan Trunks does in Super Battle Road after his recent EZA. So this is the Future Saga Extreme Super Battle Road, and so we'll get a good idea of how Trunks does. Obviously, if we just go through Trunks and his passive and basically what he's about, he does have 40% attack and defense. He gains another 40% attack and defense when he fires a super attack. He gains 40% attack and defense when facing multiple enemies, and he gains 40% attack and defense if he gets the finishing blow. He also has the ability to raise his defense on his 12 key. He will also massively raise his attack on his 18 key. And in terms of crucial links, we are going to try and activate his Cold Judgment link as much as possible, because this is going to enable him to have a really high defense. Now, in most Extreme Super Battle Road and Super Battle Road stages, Trunks will always pretty much be facing multiple enemies, at least until the very last rounds when you take out the last couple. So he should usually have quite a good amount of defense. He'll start with that nice big buff from facing multiple enemies, and then should he manage to obviously procure more damage, should he be able to get a finishing blow, he'll be able to increase his defense quite substantially, which is a really good thing overall. So Trunks is definitely a unit that's well designed for SPR and ESPR stages, and so we're going to get a nice impression of how he performs here. Obviously, in the Future Saga ESPR, it starts off with 2 enemies, then 1 enemy, then 2 enemies, and that singular enemy is the first form cell that is a tech type unit. So that's going to give us a pretty nice idea of how well Trunks does in that specific situation against that first form cell. So we should get a pretty good indication of where he's sitting. Obviously, the main idea in the Future Saga ESPR is to stun lock your enemies, and so having Trunks stun lock his enemies is not possible because Trunks does not stun. However, the rest of the team does stun pretty well, so we won't really see him take that many blows. The blows we do see him take will be pretty good. Here we've got him with some really nice defense, of course. So in this situation he's looking really nice. 6.3 million attack stat as well, which is very good. So a very nice start from Trunks right off the bat. He gets the finishing blow on that Android 17, so he's sitting with a lot of defense. So that would have increased his defense by 40%, his attack by 40%, and this next turn, if we did see him attack, we would have seen something like 8 mil in terms of attack stat, which is obviously very good. So yeah, Trunks, nice so far. Defense looked really good. Did have double supports on that rotation, which obviously is kind of something that can happen with the way the team is constructed, but it's still a pretty good shot. Nice bit of damage, finished off the Android 17, which was really good. Obviously, we didn't get to really see the nice effect, but the fact that he got the finishing blow would have activated an additional 40% attack and defense. So his passive looks like it is definitely effective in this stage. Obviously, it's more ideal in situations where you're maybe fighting 4 or 5 enemies. You're able to get that one finishing blow, and then you still have a couple enemies with which to utilize that attack and defense on. Whereas, like, if you don't, then obviously it's a little bit of a problem. So we'll take a good look here. We will use a Ghost Usher just so we can have this turn, just to set things up. I don't really feel like ending the video here. I'd like to just showcase a bit more of Trunks. So we'll just kind of skip this. Obviously, this is just the team build. The way it works is we work on stunning the cell. We work on stunning all the units. And that is just generally how we are designed. As you can see though, the AGL Trunks' damage did drop quite a bit there. From 6.3, 6.4 to 4.1. There is quite a substantial drop off there. And because of that, he doesn't hit as hard. His defense also similarly would have taken quite a big drop off. Obviously from the lack of support, but also because we're no longer facing multiple enemies. The entire idea behind Trunks and his passive is that essentially you don't have to worry too much about facing one enemy if you manage to finish off another enemy, or you manage to finish off a boss that is, in the end of his phase, because that will give you that additional 40% attack and defense back. Obviously in ideal situations, Trunks is able to have his entire passive active at the same time. But it's more a theory that he destroys someone or knocks someone out and then has that replacement for that multiple enemy effect of attack and defense. It's more for long form content than it is for anything else. So yeah, as we can see though, we are managing to keep Cell stunned, which obviously does help us quite a bit in terms of just preventing damage and also just controlling the battlefield. The thing about Trunks is he loses that +8 key, so you do have to be aware that against one enemy he is going to struggle significantly more to get his 18 key than he would if he was facing multiple enemies. Facing multiple enemies generally means Trunks doesn't really struggle to get his 18 key or anything like that, whereas facing one he definitely does. As you can see here, Trunks doing some decent damage stats, but not really doing that much damage because he's not getting any crits. This is why I kind of suggest to put him into a crit build. Crits on him are just a lot better. Even though against single enemies he's able to get still decent attack stats, the fact that he's not going to crit or have attacks effective against all types means he's going to lose out a lot on his actual overall damage, which is something that is, quite important or quite necessary to be aware of, I think. Because for me, I don't know, the fact that you can't do damage is kind of an issue overall. I just think it will cause problems, and I think for the most part it is definitely something that you do need to be aware of, you do need to watch out for, and it's just better for you to rather plan ahead on. It also, for me, just helps him get finishing blows. The ability for him to crit a unit is going to help him knock out a lot more units than it isn't. So yeah, for me, I don't know, I just suggest that overall. We are going to be able to utilize, obviously he's got quite a bit of key on this rotation, he's got the support from the Mai as well. We are going to get the Dokkan attack, so we should finish off this cell and then we'll be able to enter into the next phase, or the next battle, and we'll see him then tank some normals there. We got a bit lucky with the stuns, which also means we're unable to see him tank this cell. I can't see him tanking him too well, to be honest. He has a decent amount of defense, we're looking at 130. But it's not really enough. Maybe after super he would have been able to tank normals from this cell, but any damage he would have taken beforehand would have caused him quite a lot of issues. It's not really something we can control, but it is definitely, I wouldn't say he's tanky enough without getting his last hit or without facing multiple enemies to sit in that first slot, especially against type disadvantage units in things like Extreme Super Battle Road. That's just something I would say. I would say you need to at least get the last hit active, possibly also be facing multiple enemies. He'll then tank really, really well. Like we'll see now how well he can tank against enemies. This Goku Black and the Zamasu are quite strong. We're targeting the Goku Black because we want to see Trunks take a type neutral attack rather than taking a type disadvantage attack. Because a type disadvantage attack he'll be able to defend against quite easily. Whereas if we go for a type neutral attack, it'll give a much better representation of how well Trunks does. So for me, it's going to be nice to see how he defends against Zamasu. I think that'll be kind of the end of what we need to see from Trunks. We've seen this damage against one enemy, we've seen it against two enemies, we've seen this defense with items, kind of, or at least a little bit. But we really need to see his defense in action. So here we've got him, really nice situation for him as well. Only the strength Trunks, as you can see there, nice amounts of defense, and we'll get a good idea of how big, a stat he can hit here. So we'll see beforehand, which is great, and then we'll see afterwards, which is also great. So before super, 35k, not obviously fantastic, but still a decent tanking. And then after super, we'll see him tank, and it's single digits. So that is very, very good. That's a good level of defense. To only take 35k, Zamasu and Goku Black do hit quite hard. So yeah, I think that's a really good indication of his defense. But yeah, I think that's going to be it from me, guys. I don't really think there's anything else we need to cover here. I think we've seen everything we need to see from this Trunks, at least in terms of ESBR and SBR and things like that. So I don't really think we need to focus on anything more. So we're going to leave that here. Let me know what you guys think though. Have you tried Trunks in this kind of content? Have you not? Let me know what your thoughts are on the EZA overall. And of course, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Otherwise, leave a comment and I'll try to get back to you. But as always, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!